up, y'all? It's me, Erica, and we are down here. Peace, y'all. Take care of each other. Protect your energy.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, honey, and we are down here to talk about New Jersey. I almost forgot New Jersey was on last night. I was laying down watching Rodney, and I'm like, oh shit, I need to watch. I need to watch New Jersey. I was ready to doze off, you know. I was like, oh no, I need to take notes. So I watched it last night. I took my notes, so we're gonna talk about it. So go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, let me know you stopped by, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay. So it was a pretty good episode. I love when they do stuff together like that, like the charity event. We love that. I actually like that a lot. I like that a lot. I think that should be, hopefully, that becomes a part of every season that they do this charity event, this baseball. And I really liked it. I thought it was cool. It's almost like, I was about to say, it's almost like that's what you wanted to do for like, I don't know why I thought about Robin's field day. Like she didn't like a field day. Like, let's go out to play baseball, softball, or whatever. Let's, have fun with the entire cast and their families. Like a cast family event. So I thought it was good. I love that the cousins were there, the nieces and nephews and things like that. I love that they were there. Unfortunately, Paulie couldn't come because he has something going on with his heart. It's something is like a short circuit or something that Dolores was explaining. So there, I guess I don't know if he's going in for the actual surgery that day, because I wouldn't think that Dolores would be there and this man is, going in for surgery. So maybe it was like a consultation. I don't know, but he wasn't there. Frank brought his girlfriend, which I really think is a good dynamic on the show. Like, some people are like, Frank needs to be off the show. He's in another relationship, but this girl, she said when they went out later, she said, at first it was a little weird. I was a little insecure, but then after a while, you see it's like nothing. They're just family. I told y'all Frank felt guilty. I told y'all he felt guilty, and that's why he stuck by. But I love what Dolores told him, what she said in the confessional. I love that. So let's get started. So we start off with Teresa going to therapy. Louis encouraged her to go to therapy. She's sitting down with the therapist talking about, boys' night and how, what happened between Louis and Joey. And she said, the therapist was saying how compassionate Louis is, because when she asked Teresa, how did Louis deal with it or whatever, she was like, well, your brother's hurting. So he sees the brother's, side. What Melissa said later, the way that he manipulates things, like a lot of people are saying, Louis is manipulative. Y'all let me know if you think Louis is manipulative. And he kind of likes that Teresa and her brother are not close anymore or whatever. So y'all let me know if y'all think that. But Melissa said that he was manipulative and he kind of manipulates Teresa. So that's that. She says that it was kind of messed up that her brother wasn't there at her 50th, not her 50th, her housewarming party. She kind of teared up, started crying a little bit. And she talked about her dad, how her dad didn't talk to his cousin or a relative of theirs. I don't know if it was his sister, but I think it was his cousin, like an older cousin of his, and then like their older cousin, because she didn't get to play with her cousins, maybe their children, something. I have a feeling that's what it was. Y'all let me know if I remember that incorrectly. Um, she said her father never said, I loved you. Her father, she said, didn't start saying, I love you until the grandkids came. And they used to always tell him, I love you, no, no, I love you, no, no. And then he started saying, I love you. She didn't get to grow up with her cousins because her father and her other relative held a grudge for over $200. And then over on Escape and SWV, they still performing together, and you have allegedly took $30,000 from me, girl, girl, I'd be like, no, no, we'd be no talking no more. Okay. Um, Antonia had her sweet 16 party. She was talking about how the cousins, their children, Joe and Teresa's children, are not as close as she wants them to be. I thought it was very rich for Gia to say that she feels like Melissa is driving a wedge between the cousins. I was like, wow, that sounds a little brainwashy. I was like, what? I don't know. Y'all let me know. Do you think Melissa is driving a wedge between the cousins? She said because when Melania had her birthday party, Antonia didn't come. Antonia had cheerleading or something like that. So the therapist told her, basically, if y'all can't get it together, moving on is your next option. And for a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like, you can move on. You don't have to be tied and connected to these people, and the relationship isn't serving you. It definitely isn't serving them. It's like, what are you in this relationship for? Just because, and if you can't work it out, that's the next option. Move on. That's the only next option. So Jennifer Fessler is over Margaret's house, coming over Margaret's house. Margaret had surgery on her wrist. Remember when she fell at the roller skating party? um that's what I'm talking about. The way that Jennifer Fessler was letting Margaret know about herself, just them two. She came over, girl. Here you are. I'm coming to you, bringing you some gifts. She brought her some cookies. And sitting down and let's talk. But I want to talk about your behavior at my house. That was not you. She told her. She was like, that was not you. You were acting like a child. She was like, there was nothing adult about that behavior. And she was like, oh, I know it wasn't me. I know it wasn't me. But yes, that's the kind of friendships that I like to see. Like, girl, I'm holding you accountable. You were wrong. You were wrong. I know you don't like that girl. I know she gets on your nerves. I know she takes you there. But you look foolish at my house. Don't ever let me see you look like that again. Don't ever let that girl bring you to that. Basically, she said, I know I said awful things, but she deserved them. Like, she gets Margaret going. And okay, so last week I said I don't think Jennifer's insults land on her. I still don't believe that. I believe that Margaret is so annoyed by Jennifer. When somebody gets on your nerves and it's like they're not saying anything, like it's almost like, shut up, shut your stupid ass up. Like, that's how I feel like Margaret is. Like, she gets on her nerves. I don't think her insults are landing. I think she just was like, shut your dumb ass up. You're so stupid. You're immature. You're insecure. You're dumb. Shut up. That's what I think. Let me take a sip of tea. Oh my God. That was so hot. Oh my God. Girl. Woo, that burned my lip. Oh my God. I need to take the top off of that so it can cool down. Them Yeti mugs, them insulated mugs. When I tell you they hold heat and hold the cold too. I told y'all about this mug. I could have it full of ice at night, full of ice with water in it in the morning. Ice is still formed. It's not like melted. The ice is still like, girl, we putting in work. We keeping it cold. That mug, it's a good mug. But anyway, so I appreciated what Fessler said to Margaret. Like, girl, you was out of order. You look like a fool. You look like a child. You cannot let that girl get you like that. Like, that's too much. I like Jennifer Fessler. She's a good friend of the show. Like, I think that was a good Margaret. I'm sure Margaret said, I got a girlfriend who would be great for the show. She's a new friend of mine. I've known her for 3 years. Right. So I think that's good. But Margaret says she deserved it. But I do, like, that's what I was saying. I do believe that Margaret just is annoyed by Jennifer. Like, girl, shut your... And it would be like like Kenya and Portia. Like, sometimes Kenya be looking at her like, girl, shut up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, shut your stupid ass up. Anyway, Jennifer and Bill are sitting in the backyard. They're talking about going to the baseball game. She tells him outright, I don't want you to be nice to Margaret. Girl, no, we're not playing like that. Is your personality. That is not this man's personality. I don't know. Y'all think that you want your husband to be supportive in that way, like don't be nice to this woman. But you see, when he saw her at the baseball game, he gave her a kiss. And he was like, we're on our charity behavior. Yes, this is a charity. Don't forget. That's what it was. But anyway, she said, don't be nice to Margaret. She said Margaret was an albino with a wig on. Girl, no. I wonder if Jennifer's going to get flack for saying that. I don't know if she is. She said that Margaret called her a drug addict and that Margaret just tries to say things that she's not thinking about her kids. Like, girl, let me tell you something. And I'm going to be frank, okay? Not Frank Catania, but I'm going to be frank and say, when we are fighting, I'm focused on you. I'm not fighting and editing what I'm saying to you because I'm thinking about your kids. I'm trying to destroy you. I'm not like, oh wait, let me not say that, because if I call her a disheveled drug addict, her kids might see that, right? So are you smoking weed and not telling your kids? Because why? My thing with Jennifer is, why must you lie to your children? Like, I don't agree with that. Like, I don't agree with that. Children can know the age appropriate truth. Do the two older ones know that she smokes reefer? Like, and then she said that the little girl saw it on TikTok. We'll get to that later. Saw that her dad cheated on her mom on TikTok. She says that she thinks the women are afraid of Margaret. The women are afraid of Margaret. That's why they don't hold her accountable. They don't say anything to her. They just stay quiet. Which is why I like Jennifer Fessler, the way she checked Margaret on her behavior. That is what I like. That is, like, to me, I feel like that's what friends should do. They should not allow you to, like, yeah, I'm gonna stay quiet while you doing the thing or whatever, because I'm not gonna break your flow the way that Wendy broke Candace's flow when she was cussing out Giselle. I'm not gonna break your flow, but later I'm gonna say, girl, you girl, I let you have it, but you was acting like you was in high school, girl. Don't you ever let me see you act like that again. Are you crazy? That is a private conversation. Yes, we could have had it on camera, but it's just two of us here. I'm not checking you in front of it, because I kind of probably agree with you that the girl is a little stupid, but don't let that girl get you like that. That's what I like. They're afraid of Margaret, and they will do anything to keep Margaret quiet because Margaret has tea on everybody. So that's what it is. That's Margaret's, power position. Dolores. Oh, Dolores and her dad, and he likes Paulie. He talks about getting his heart procedure, and Dolores's dad says, you look happy. She says, yes, I am happy. This is the kind of man that I've been, desiring or whatever. And so we're glad that Dolores is happy. Love to see it. Rachel and Melissa and Frank and Brittany and Jennifer and Rachel. Yeah, Rachel, Melissa, and Frank. I think that was it. They are going to the batting cages to practice so they can win the charity. Paulie is going to be around. They were like, do you think Paulie is going to be at the game? If he sees me at the game, he's going to be jealous or whatever. This is Frank. But Frank is talking about how, all right, battery died, honey. I don't know what I had plugged in, but it wasn't charging. So anyways, Frank is talking about how him and Dolores are the furthest away they've ever been from each other. He explains a little bit about their history and, just how he was a great father, but he wasn't a great partner. And, Dolores said that after they got a divorce, nothing changed but them being intimate with each other. Everything else remained the same. And this is what Frank is used to. And she did that for the sake of their family, even though she probably had every single right to be angry with him, not want to talk to him, but they did it for the family, right? He says he's sad. Um, he says he's sad about it, and that's when Brittany shared that, do you think, well, first they were like, do you think Paulie is like insecure about it? He's not as warm as David. They show clips of David and Frank getting together, and then Melissa makes a good point. She says that, I don't know if she made this point at the baseball game or at the batting cages, but she said that David was never around, so you filled the space for that. But not Louis. Paulie is the type of guy who is around, so you're not needed in that capacity anymore. And the truth is, they're just gonna have to adjust, the dynamic a little bit. I do think it's unfair for this man to come in and kind of break up their dynamic. I don't think that is healthy. I feel like you can create boundaries without like causing such a disruption. But Dolores is allowing that. That's what she wants right now. And but I do think it's like kind of messed up, because even the kids are like, dude, this is weird because dude's here now, and then my dad's not around as much, and they're not used to it. There's things that they're going to have to get used to, but at the same time, I don't think it's fair for Frank to just be like cut off. But he's still showing up to events. He's bringing his girlfriend now, which I think is good that he brings her, his on and off girlfriend Brittany. They get to start talking about Margaret because Joe was in the batting cages, and she was like, Melissa was like, oh, I wonder if I went and got a ball player, would he be as good as you, or stuff like that. She was saying stuff like that. And she says, I understand that Jennifer is on her revenge tour, and she's trying to get me to like, see Margaret in a different way. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's doing it to everybody. Like, you don't see that she's not a good person. You don't see it. You don't see it. You don't see it. That's what Jennifer is trying to do. And it's like, girl, it's not. You're doing it to the wrong people. But anyways, she says she's not going to jump on Jennifer's little revenge tour with her. Rachel says, yeah, Teresa, and at the Barbie party, Teresa and Jennifer were giving her warnings about Margaret, and telling her how Margaret is a better friend than she is an enemy. And then that's when Melissa says, I knew it. I knew that Teresa was being fake with Margaret. I knew she was only, effing, talking to Margaret because Louis has manipulated her to do that, because he probably doesn't want the truth about him to get out, and that's the way to keep Margaret at bay. Now, somebody was in the comments that said that Margaret was trying to talk about the Louis thing so that Louis can get in front of the story. No, I really believe that Margaret was like, this guy is weird. We don't know who this guy is. Whether she was doing it for Teresa or not, like, oh, I'm doing it because I don't know this guy and he's coming into your life and I'm a little leery, like I'm really your friend, like that. I don't know if that was the motivation, more so like, this guy is creepy. Do we need to talk about the things that we've been seeing? Last season, Teresa was trying to make it seem like Margaret was looking for these things and then bringing them out. Well, no, it was actually things that were being in there that were in the press, and then Margaret would bring them to the show, and Teresa didn't want that to happen. They're trying to ice Margaret out because, of course, Jennifer's mad at her. Teresa doesn't like her. They're trying to ice her out, and Teresa doesn't have to say much. Jennifer will do all the, talking, and then Teresa will give her 2 cents here and there. That's what basically Melissa has it all figured out, right? They get to the baseball game. It's charity. They're showing the calendar. I wish they would have showed every picture. They were on. I only saw Evans and Frank, and then I saw some group pictures, but they didn't put it on the screen. I was like, can y'all put the pictures on the screen? We want to see the finished product. You know what I'm saying? They were laughing at Frank. They were laughing at the picture where they were all in a group shot, and then Joe Gorga had a picture of Frank in his phone, but like stuck in his pants. A mess. So they were laughing at that or whatever. they were talking about Jennifer Fessler's house, and Margaret was saying, when I get into a fight with a friend, if we make up, I really think we made up. Jennifer and I didn't make up. She keeps bringing up stuff and this and that. So then Danielle, oh, she says, that's when Margaret says, oh yeah, she's going around saying that I break up marriages when this is what I said. This is what I said. So she tells Danielle what she said to Melissa about, you can find any man you want to. Danielle says that she would have took it the wrong way. She wouldn't have taken it like that. Why don't you tell me my tits are perky instead of telling me that I can replace my husband? Girl, if you're mad at your husband, you don't want your girlfriend to come and be like, girl, you can find anybody better than him. You don't want that. You would rather her tell you your tits are perky, girl. I know your husband is acting like a buffoon. I know he's not, girl, I know he's not treating you right, but your tits are perky. I was like, okay, girl, fine. That's how Danielle feels. She was like, I didn't like it. She was like, and you know, I need to keep an eye out for more. I don't want to feel like I'm in a relationship with someone where I have to keep an eye out for them because they're digging up stuff on me. So Danielle's just staring at Margaret like, just listening to Margaret talk, but she's already has her filter on from the women. She says Jennifer is her friend, and that, I just want everybody to be fine, but I feel like she basically says she needs to keep an eye out for Margaret. I don't want anybody telling me that you're a better friend than an enemy and stuff like that. I don't need that. So that's Rachel's, not Rachel, Danielle's stance. So it is what it is. Jennifer shows up. Bill kisses Margaret, and he reminds everybody, we're on our charity behavior. Teresa shows up. She's greeting everyone. They're looking at the calendar. As soon as Teresa shows up, I don't know if they cut it like that, but Teresa shows up, and Joe and his son go to the back or whatever. They're cutting their shirts, their jerseys. That looks so cute. They had all their jerseys with their last names on it. Really great event, Dolores. I think they should do that every season. But they're looking at the calendar, and then Joe greets Teresa. He gives her a hug and kiss. Greets his nieces. The nieces see their little cousin, little Joey, and they're hugging and stuff like that. And then that's when Gia. No, did Gia say? No, Gia said that later when they were on the field. I was like, Gia, that don't. Y'all let me know, like, what did y'all think about Gia saying that she feels like Melissa is driving? That literally sounds like her mother. Like, she thinks Melissa is driving a wedge. I don't know. Y'all let me know. I don't see it like that. Let me know how you see it, because I don't see it like that. I'm like, what? That sounds like Teresa. Anyway, so Rachel and Jennifer get to talking, and she tells her that, her daughter Olivia, I think she brought, she brought Olivia with her, and I think that's it. That's all she brought with her. And she was like, yeah, it was so sweet. At the party, I asked her, what she wanted to be when she grew up. She told me she wanted to be a couples therapist. And she was like, I don't know, how you feel about that or whatever. And so Jennifer was like, that when they're bickering, that when Bill and Jennifer are bickering, Olivia will come in there and be like, remember, you love each other. She said that, she tells us later in the therapy session that Olivia found out that Bill cheated on Jennifer on TikTok. And that's why I say you arm your children with the truth. Otherwise, you leave them out there with no armor, because she should not have been able to go on TikTok and find out that her dad cheated on her mom. I'm sorry. I feel like you only told the two oldest children. You didn't tell anybody else. Like, you can tell them the age appropriate truth. I don't know how you would tell a 10 or 11-year-old that, we had some problems, but she understands cheating, because Jennifer says that she asked her, and she says it later, but she says that her daughter asked her, do all men cheat? And she says, I just told her, some people make mistakes. And she said, I didn't have anything else to tell her. And that's just it. And then Jennifer lets us know she can't get over that Margaret brought that to the show. She cannot get over that. And so she's not going to get over it. She's going to be mad at her because now she's ashamed and embarrassed. Nobody knew. Now she has to speak to it. And now she also has to confront her feelings. She's been able to ignore how she felt about that situation for 11 years. And then here comes Margaret, like, girl, you know that, okay, we know that Bill was cheating on you. That's why Bill stays in the pool house. Jennifer sat in that therapy session and said that exact same thing. He comes home, he goes into the pool house, he stays there, and then he comes a few hours later after everything has been done, dinner, everything. I'm like, he don't eat dinner with his family. I was like, damn, that's crazy. But after everything is done, then he comes in the house. But Margaret is jealous and wants your dream life. Okay. That's what I was saying last week. Girl, you cannot use your marriage, and throw it in somebody's face when it looks like this. It doesn't work. It does not work. It doesn't land. It goes like this, whoop, because it's like, girl, are you serious right now? You're really throwing your marriage in my face. Okay. Because I was cheating on my husband. I left my husband and got with the man I was cheating with, and we seem to be doing great. Are you not secure in seeing that? Maybe you think that your husband is going to leave you after cheating on you, and I'm a representation of that. And maybe you go be happy with somebody else, with the person he's cheating with. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Where's Paulie? He's having heart surgery. This is when Frank tells Dolores that he misses their relationship. He says, I text you. You tell me you're going to call me back. You don't call me back. And he says, I was crying the other day when I texted you and you didn't text me back. He says, and then she says that, Frank doesn't like change. But this is what I said, Dolores be coming with it. She says, he can't make me feel guilty for being in a relationship I deserve. I said, come on, Dolores. Yes, Frank. And that's it. And she needs to tell him that to his face. Like she said that in her interview, but she needs to tell him that I deserve this. I deserve this. Chill out for a second. We'll get everything acclimated. He's not used to this dynamic. Let's get him used to it. And then we'll be back. It won't be the same, but we'll be back to our family. Okay. Just let Paulie get used to it. And some people cannot get used to it. I think it's great. I always thought it was great that Frank was around going to events with Dolores when David was working. He's a devoted doctor. We shout out to the devoted MDs. We're here for it. But his relationship was suffering and he was never there. And so Frank was there for Dolores. He really was. Frank is even in the intro, and the family is in the back. Some have their dogs in the back. Some have their children in the back. Frank is in the back of Dolores's intro. That's the dynamic here, okay? With the dog, I think, holding the dog or something. So I love that Dolores said that you cannot make me feel guilty for the relationship I deserve. This is when, you see the cousins talking to each other and they're like, oh, is your hair light? Did you lighten your hair, Joey? And he was like, no. She was like, oh, your hair gets light like, Gia and like you guys, you guys' hair get light in the sun or whatever. And then that's when Gia says that she feels like Melissa is putting a wedge through the cousins. The Aidens go to therapy, right? Which is great. We love to see it. Bill has always been against therapy. He feels like it's going to open up a Pandora's box that we can't close. She said that Olivia was the catalyst to get him to go to therapy because she told him that Olivia wants to be a couples therapist. And he was like, oh, okay, let's go. So she said, she sits down with the lady. Lady has them fill out some paperwork. She comes in, sits down. She says, okay, what's going on? She says, 11 years ago, when I was pregnant with our fourth child, Bill cheated on me. I never told anyone. I love that's how you have to be truthful in therapy. You have to just tell the truth so that they can assess what's happening. I really love how Jennifer was just clear and saying what she needed to say. I really love that. She said, I never told anyone. I held on to it. And then this woman, brings it up, and now everyone knows. We told our oldest two, but then my younger daughter found it on TikTok. The lady was like, what? Like, girl, it's a mess. Then that's when Olivia asked her, do all men cheat? And she told her, they make mistakes, and she said that's the only thing that she could say. um it's having an effect. Are you worried that it's having an effect on the children? And then they were like, yes. And she says, whenever they bicker, Olivia will come and tell Bill to kiss mommy. And she says, the therapist says, yeah, she wants to just be secure that you guys are secure. Make sure that everything is okay. She says there is anger there because if he didn't do this, this woman would never be able to say what she did and let everybody in the town know that her husband was cheating on her, which is true. Yes, you could be mad at Margaret all you want, but Margaret would have never, nobody would have had anything to gossip about if Bill wasn't cheating on you. And that's who you need to direct your anger to, right? How do you feel, Bill? This is the therapist asking Bill. He's like, mom is perfect. Like in our household, mommy is perfect. She doesn't, basically doesn't discipline them. She doesn't she's not as hard on them as I am. And she was like, I'm supportive. And he was like, and dad is pushy. I'm pushy. She said he wants her to micromanage the kids. She says, and every time I do something, it falls on me. I feel like I'm an employee, and she says, I feel like I'm an employee, and he comes home and tells me where I'm not doing my job right. A lot of women can relate to her. She's a married single mother. She's not the only woman having this experience, right? You have a husband who's not present, but he wants to come in and tell you that you're not doing the right job, even though he's not participating at all. She was like, the ratio is off. I have 5 children and 1 participating parent. And she goes, oh, you're not participating? He says, well, I have a lot of stress in my job, 24/7 stress. She says, you go to the pool house, you stay there. She says, I see his car drive up on the camera. He stays in the pool house for a few hours, and then when he comes in, everything's done, and I was like, damn. She says, but she's like, Bill, you're silent a lot. She was like, yeah, he's silent for everything. He's silent when he cheated on me. He's silent he's just always silent. He always just sits there silent. She says, I'm not your subordinate. And she says, the therapist says that she's not appreciated and she's lonely. And she says that Bill needs to start showing that he cares, or she's going to check out. And that was it. And that's the thing. Like, I don't understand. That is why you cannot throw your relationship in somebody's face, because you have ups and downs and peaks and valleys in the relationship. The dynamic is even off. He's not participating. He comes in, like, the whole thing is off, and it's very traditional. It's very traditional. The mother is present. The mother's doing all the work. She's a married single mother, and the father is just there supplying the discipline and not being emotionally there, just silent, closed off, not really. But he does, I see Bill giving his children affection and stuff like that. I don't know if that's for the camera or what, but he's giving off that present absent father. You know what I'm saying? And he's just silent, and that's like, that to me is annoying. And that's one of the things that I don't think Jennifer understands about me. I mean, that's her husband. She's been married to him for 1,000 years, but he doesn't have your personality. He's more like this and you're more like this, and you want him to be like this also as a plastic surgeon, and also just be loud and obnoxious and treating people poorly and not having compassion for people. And he's a doctor. You don't want, to me, I wouldn't want to see no doctor on television displaying inability to be compassionate or an inability to forgive. Like that, I don't want to see you acting a fool. I don't want to see you causing problems. I would rather see you as a MD being nice. You know, I would rather see that. Yes, you're a human and you have your emotions, but I don't want to see you be messy like that. I don't know. Especially a plastic surgeon, no. So anyways, y'all, that was the end of the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do you think that Gia got that from her mom? I really do. What do you think about Frank and Dolores? I love what Dolores said. And what do you think about Jennifer Aiden and Bill? And what do you think about Jennifer Fessler telling Margaret about herself? That is what I love to see. Shout out to Jennifer Fessler. She needs to come back next season as a friend. All right. Anything else? I don't think that's it. I think that's it. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.